I'll move over a little bit. Hey, good morning. We are live here on the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show, and I hope you're doing well today. Today is our 594th episode, and that little light you heard is the notification when you ring the little bell. Yeah, look, there's a little picture of me. Look at that. There you go. Little picture. And my wife texted me on something. So today, I guess I just lost my mindset, didn't I? Anyway, got up early, met with some people over in Europe early this morning, so I was doing that before doing the show. Sorry about that. Today, I want to talk about two things. I want to talk about sharing and silent subtasking or silent tasking, and what you can do with that. Now everybody's beeping me. And that's what we're going to talk about today: sharing and silent tasking. And then the silent tasking relates to yesterday's show on doing the making toast and nodes and the subtask that you might put for a story to get it complete. So this is just an added on to that after I did the show. I thought it would be a good topic. And I am Greg Mester, Scrum Master and Agile Coach. And here on the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show, we talk about Scrum and Agile in a practical and tactical way so you can bring value to your customer. Not work crazy hours, get home to family and friends, have some fun in life and at work. And that's what we want to do, right? Make it easy at work. Don't go crazy with the whole Agile accountants that come in and tell us a million things to do. And how can you make Agile work? Again, just a reminder, we're starting up a meetup. Please feel free to join the meetup. Send me messages, what you want to talk about. If anybody out there who watches this show, and I'll put it up to my connections in LinkedIn, have a topic they want to bring up and doing a lightning talk or some kind of thing they want to practice presenting with the group, you're more than welcome to do it. And there's no backlog right now, so feel free to send me something. I'm working on what we're going to do for the show, for the first show, and figure out when the timing would be, and then I will market it and put it out there for people to see and plan their time. Okay, so sharing. Why do I put sharing? So the other day, past couple days, myself and another Agile coach, just perplexing on the word. Everybody's using best practice, common practice, I heard gold standard yesterday, and I'm like, just make me quote gold standard. Oh God, what does that mean? In whose mind is it the gold standard, right? So just tie on a word because I want to do a coach's corner letter that I send out, or an email or notes. They go out various times and different methods because, anytime you send something, you got to hear it 3 times or do it 3 times or experience more than 3 times for it to stick, right? Stickiness in what you say. So I came up with the term practice sharing. So I want to put like Agile Coach Corner practice sharing. So these are practices by the teams that they are willing to share with other teams in the organization. Some practices that I've seen in other organizations, and just sharing those practices. What I like about that is it's more freedom to the teams to take on the practice or share their practices. And it seems like it's a good, from a full stack coaching perspective, way of phrasing it. Because if I say gold standard or best practice or something like that, then it's like, well, then we better do it because it's the only practice in town. So we should do that because it's the best practice. I'm not saying any of my practices is the best practice. It's just a practice that has been done, sharing it for people to experiment with and try to make it their own. And that's kind of what I was doing earlier today. I was sharing a practice for how to manage boards in Jira. I do the same thing in all the other programs too, as I have multiple boards, but we'll do a show on that later. So just a term out there to use. Feel free to give me feedback on it. Practice sharing rather than gold standard. Gold standard. I love the gold standard one. I heard that one yesterday. I just wanted to keel over and die. Or best practice, right? Or common practice. Because it's really just a practice share from other teams that they're experiencing, and you got to try it and see if it works for you. Scrum, Agile is that teams are self-organizing. If you say best practice, they're going to and the other thing, you be careful. It's a practice sharing. If you use gold standard or common practice or best practice, the Agile accountants will one day come down on your tail and force you to follow that best practice, because that's what they do. So just because it's the best practice, like we need 50 fields in Jira or Azure or Rally. We need 100 fields. You need to fill them all out. And therefore, it's the best practice. So your team should do those 100 fields too, or that process or that flow, because everybody needs to be the same. So warning, try to come up with a way that the Agile accountants don't come down on your tail and go, you're not doing the best practice. So practice sharing is more self-organizing, more sharing, more co-working the solution, right? And then if someone makes a tweak to it, they can share back to the group, hey, we made this little tweak to whatever flow or whatever you're doing, and it worked out pretty good. So they just want to share it with the other teams. It's great. I love the word. I'm going to be using it all the time. So if you see it, I'm just going to say it boom, boom, boom instead of best practices. So it's practice sharing. So that's the sharing part. The next topic that I had was silent tasking based on yesterday's conversation. So in yesterday's conversation, we talked about nodes. The guy from Making Toast said how many nodes works, and they said between 5 and 13 nodes. I would say more like 3 to 11, 10 maybe, 10 fingers. If you can count your finger, well, maybe you don't have 10 fingers. And then you go see my wife. She's a hand therapist. So I like to have things that you can count on your fingers because it's just easier mentally to handle anything more than that. I mean, you got 10 fingers, 10 toes, so you could do 20 maybe max, but never more than 20 because you're running little digits to count with. So in the process of identifying those nodes or those subtasks for your stories to get them done, one thing mentioned was silent taking. So when you do the visual, and I have my visual from yesterday, right? I got this one from yesterday. I got to share this on LinkedIn. And then I put it on Instagram, but it's not on LinkedIn. What I would do, I guess I should erase it. I had an eraser. My kid comes in here, steals all my stuff. That never happens in the world, does it? People steal your erasers and your markers in the office? No. Whenever we go back to the office, just remember, people will steal your highlighters and your whiteboard, and they want to erase the board when they're done. It's just what they do. Okay, so the idea is that you would have everybody do silent subtasking. Okay, so we have our story, right? So you have your generic story. Whatever the story is. Don't call it whatever you want. Build a dashboard. I don't know. Build a graph. Who knows? Have everyone, and I'm trying to figure out how to do this on a whiteboard. In the old world, when you're co-located, you might use stickies. So in the regular world, you would do stickies. Like you might say, everybody, okay, we're going to take 5 minutes, no more than 5 minutes, 5 minutes max. And we're going to write like, what are your subtasks? I'm going to say develop, right? I'm going to say test, right? I'm going to say code review. And maybe I'll do and then somebody else, then the other person's, if they picture this, another person might write testing because they're a tester, right? Test. They might write test script or test case writing. Test case writing. I'm just going to write. I'm going to keep this short so we have a show that's within 15 minutes. Okay, so then what would happen in the real world? Now, how you would do this on a whiteboard in Mural or something, it's kind of tricky because people can cheat and go read what other people have written. It's just, you have to figure a way to do it. You could do this and think so. So one person will start putting their stickers up like code review. They put testing, right? And they start putting on the board, right? And then maybe somebody else will say, oh, I can do test case writing. I got another test, and then you start grouping them up, right? So this, doing the silent writing with 5 different people not looking on the board so they can't use it as a crutch to figure out what they do, make them think in their own mind. Because like this test person would have came up with test case writing where the other people wouldn't have wrote it, right? So you do silent writing and then you match them up and it should group. And then maybe as they put it up, maybe they had this code review here. Oh, let's group them in order. Maybe testing's last. I could do code review. Maybe I can write the test case at the same time I'm doing my development work, right? So now these two are in parallel, 2 different people working on a story. Then the next thing would be code review with somebody else, and we both have testing. So there's a lot of grouping of the testing. So there's more than one person that said that. And that'll really help you focus on what subtasks should be in the group. Because if you had 5 people all say testing, 5 people all say dev, maybe there's a unit test task or something, right? There'd be all these different tasks, and then you can group them on your screen, and then that would be your thing. So you do silent, and the reason why you do silent subtasking, because you don't want them use the other ones as a crutch and come up with solutions, right? So you take 5 minutes. Take 5 minutes. That's all it is, 5-minute drill. And they do their subtasking. So it shouldn't take more than 5 minutes. 5 minutes, and then take another 5 minutes. Within 10, 15 minutes, you have everything done. So there's no reason why you can't come up with generic testing or subtasks within 15 minutes. So you can, when you do your daily scrum and you're having a problem with this part, and you want to break down the stories because they're not getting them done. Now just remember, they only need to break these stories down. If they're not getting them done like in a couple days, and there's taking the whole sprint to get, then you need to do this, okay? If they're not getting their work done on a regular basis in a very short amount of time, then it's very good to break down subtasks. And maybe we'll do I think I did an episode on that before. Maybe we'll do another episode later, but the idea is that if they're not getting their stuff down, then break down the subtasks, okay? Take a 5-minute drill, silent subtasking. Everybody comes on, they put their stickies on the wall. You can do in the whiteboard. Maybe what you do as you have a whiteboard on Mural or Microsoft Whiteboard or whatever, you say, okay, everyone, open up like Microsoft, like text editor, Notepad or something. Write down what you think the tasks are. And then when we're all done, we'll close the 5 minutes. Then we'll take a minute, put a timer, transition those list of items into sticky notes onto the Mural board or Mural board or Miro or whiteboard, whatever you got. And then we'll group them in sticky format. That might be a good way to do it, because then you can move things around on the board. That's my recommendation. That's something. So silent subtasking helps create a good variety of subtasks so people aren't using them as a crutch. Okay? So that was our topics for today. I hope they're helpful to you. And you have a great day. Happy scrumming. My arm is good, by the way. It's not bad. It was kind of stiff yesterday after getting that second shot, but today it's relatively good. Nothing's bothering me. So that was the Pfizer 2-shot that I got. Okay. Just sharing that for you. Again, I don't think I'm growing any hair. Side effects from the shot. But if anything happens, you'll see, because I'm usually on here every day. And with that, it's 9 o'clock. I got to go to the meeting. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. Happy scrumming, and see you tomorrow. Bye. See ya.